من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعه إلى يوم الدين وبعد. قال الله تعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربنا أبصرنا وسمعنا فارجعنا نعمل صالحا إنا موقنون. وقال تعالى واعبد ربك حتى يأتيك اليقين. وعن أبي أيوب الأنصاري رضي الله تعالى عنه قال جاء رجل إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وقال يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أوصني. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا قمت في صلاتك فصلي صلاة المودع ولا تكلم بكلام تعتذر منه غدا واجمع اليأس فيما أيدي الناس أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. حامدا ومصليا ومتوكلا على الله وبعد. Respected brothers, elders and sisters in Islam, we thank and praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tremendously for blessing us, gracing us, allotting us, providing us this opportunity today in this blessed and sacred day of Jumu'ah to come to perform our Salat al-Jumu'ah. I hope and pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our coming, and may Allah reward us graciously, bountifully and generously both in dunya and in akhirah. Today I am going to speak on one hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam which shows us the brilliance and the intelligence of our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that he could just take a few words and in those few words convey messages that could not be conveyed in volumes of books. The intelligence and the brilliance of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was such, as we hear the hadith time and again, Jawami al-Kalim. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam had the most comprehensive speech. So the Nabi of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, just in a few words, would convey to us messages, not message, but messages that cannot be conveyed in volumes of books. They are voluminous, pregnant full with meaning. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave a lot of personal and one-to-one advices to his companions. You look into the books of hadith, you will find, and in the seerah, that on many occasions Sahaba would come to the Nabi of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and they would ask him a question. So the Nabi of Allah had given Sahaba personal advices, one-to-one advices that fits that companion, fits his situation and his condition, but becomes beneficial for each and every one of us. A personal advice for someone, but the benefits of that personal advice did not remain only to the individual, but fits all of us. Sometimes, someone would come to the Prophet ﷺ and ask him, Ya Rasulullah, give me some advice that will benefit me, and please make it short. These are also the words. Give me some advice, but don't make it lengthy, because sometimes I can't remember everything. Make it short. So Rasulullah ﷺ would advise, he would say, Amantu billahi thumma istaqim. Believe in Allah, make your belief firm in Allah, and be steadfast in what you believe. Some other companion would come and he would say, Ya Rasulullah, advise me. Rasulullah ﷺ would look at his personal situation and would say, when this person would come and say, Ya Rasulullah, what is the best amal in the sight of Allah? What is the best action in the sight of Allah? Ayyu amal ahabbi ila Allah. Rasulullah ﷺ would sometimes say, As-salatu ala waqtiha. The best deed in the sight of Allah is to pray salah on its time. For another person who came to ask the same question, the Nabi of Allah would say, Birrul walidain. Be dutiful and obedient to your parents. Someone else would come and he would ask, Ya Rasulullah, give me an advice. And the Nabi of Allah ﷺ would say, La taghdab. Do not become angry. Control your anger, control your temper. And there's another hadith of the Prophet ﷺ in which he said, whoever suppresses his anger, and we all have outbursts sometimes in life. Sometimes, most of the times, we have outbursts. So the Nabi of Allah is cautioning us, whenever you get this outburst, and you suppresses your anger, despite being able to vent it. You suppresses your anger despite being able to vent it, to take it out on people. Rasulullah ﷺ said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will fill the heart of such a person. Allah will fill his heart with peace and security on the day of Qiyamah. What Allah will do? Allah will fill his heart with peace and security. When? On the day of Qiyamah. So I'm going to mention one hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and this hadith somehow forms and summarizes our relationships. How can we take these advices from this hadith of the Prophet ﷺ and shape our lives, shape our relationships? The Nabi of Allah ﷺ told us that we should focus in three things in life. Three things we should focus on. Number one, focus on your relationship with your Allah. The rights of Allah upon you. Number one, Allah's rights upon you. Second, your family's rights upon you. Your family's rights upon you. And third, the rights that you have on yourself. The rights that you have on yourself. This does not mean the rights of human beings are not important. This does not mean the rights of others are not important. But when we fulfill these three rights, the other rights and duties will fall in place. Why is that so? Because these three rights, rights of Allah, the rights of your family, and the rights of yourself, these are all connected, linked, and intertwined with each other. So what is the hadith? Sayyidina Abu Ayyub al-Ansari radiyallahu anhu, Who was Ayyub al-Ansari? That Sahabi who was privileged in hosting the Nabi of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam after arriving in Medina. Who was the host of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam? Abu Ayyub al-Ansari radiyallahu anhu. And those who may have gone in Turkey, in Istanbul, whose grave is there. Abu Ayyub al-Ansari, his grave is in Istanbul. So he narrates the hadith that a person came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam and he said, Ya Rasulullah, advise me, give me an impactful advice. Impactful. An advice that will shake me. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam told him three things. As I said earlier, this was a personal advice, a one-to-one advice for someone, but it benefits each and every one of us. And this shapes our relationships. Advice number one, إِذَا قُمْتَ فِي صَلَاتِكَ. When you stand up to pray your salah, صَلِّ صَلَاةَ الْمُوَدِّعِ. Pray that salah in such a way that it might be your last salah you will ever pray in your life. Let every salah of yours be the last salah in your life. Pray it in that manner. إِذَا قُمْتَ فِي صَلَاتِكَ. When you stand up to pray, صَلِّ صَلَاةَ الْمُوَدِّعِ. Yeah. Second advice. وَلَا تَكَلَّمَ بِكَلَامٍ تَعْتَذِرُ مِنْهُ غَدًا. Don't say something that you will have to apologize for tomorrow. Wow. Don't say something that you will regret and you have to apologize for tomorrow. Advice number two. Advice number three. وَاجْعَلْ الْيَأْسَ فِيمَا أَيْدِي النَّاسِ. Lose hope. Lose hope in what other people possess. Don't be envious of what others may have in life. Don't be envious. Lose hope in that. What is the common denominator in all three advices of the Prophet ﷺ? What is the common denominator? The common denominator is that you don't take for granted the day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. You do not assume that you will have another day or another chance to make things right in life. Don't assume that. I will have another day or another moment or another chance in my life to make things right. You make things right in the moment you are living now. Because we all know, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالْخَوَاتِيمِ. Our deeds are resulted by their endings. What? Our deeds, the deeds that we do, the results of our deeds are by their endings. And no one knows when those endings can be. So live in the moment. That if you do wrong in that moment, don't think of it that you may have a chance later on in your life to undo that. Second, the first advice now. صَلِّ صَلَاةَ الْمُوَدِّعِ. When you pray, pray as if it is your last prayer. What is salah? It is our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What are the three things the Prophet ﷺ said to focus on? Number one, your relationship with Allah. What is salah? Our relationship with Allah. One very common question that we get, people would ask, how can I get khushu' in my salah? How can I concentrate, have humility and devotion in my salah? Let's think about it for a moment. distracted by? Ask yourself the question. We all get distracted in our salah. So when we get distracted in our salah, what is it that we usually get distracted by? It is that you're already thinking about something that you will have to do after the salah. One of the distractions is you're already thinking in your salah. You start your salah and things start popping in your mind. What I have to do after salah. All one after the next start coming in your mind. You are not really in your mind. You are not engaged in that salah. But there is some other worldly activity preventing you from engaging fully in that salah. So now our salah is an interruption for our day. Because we are not focusing, our minds are somewhere else. That salah now becomes an interruption. Understand my words? It becomes an interruption in our day, as supposed to be an essential element of our day. And the most important part of the day. Why? Because it is the most important relationship between us and Allah. And it will be the most important thing to be asked first on the day of Qiyamah. But we are treating salah like an interruption. For example, if I have a meeting after salah, I'm going to start thinking in my salah, planning what am I going to say in that meeting. I'm having a meeting, what am I going to say? I have to attend to a phone call afterwards. So I start thinking in my salah, what would I say in this phone call of mine? So the Nabi of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he gave us a simple but efficient advice. That while you are in salah, don't think beyond your salah. While you are in salah, don't think beyond your salah. Stop yourself and remind yourself that this could be my last meeting with my Allah. This could be my last conversation with Allah. This could be my last interview with my Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is important for me to make it right. And if I really focus on this salah, then in actuality, I am focusing and prioritizing my relationship with my Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what we have to do, from the time these thoughts start flowing in our minds and begin distracting us, let's put a stop to it. And the stop can be we think, hey, what are you doing? This salah that you are praying now can be your last salah that you will ever pray. It can be your last conversation with Allah. So pray it as if it is your last salah. Don't think beyond your salah. So that was advice number one. Advice number two. وَلَا تَكَلَّمَ بِكَلَامٍ تَعْتَذِرُ غَدًا. Don't say or do anything today that you will regret and apologize for tomorrow. You know, this piece of advice can save many marriages. It can save many marriages. It can save many friendships. It can save many relationships, etc. Why is that so? When you are in the midst of any argument, then you will try to say the most hurtful things in the moment. Why is that so? The most nasty, the most condescending in the moment. You have an issue, maybe at home, your family, or somebody. In the moment, you are not looking what I'm saying, you're not thinking what I'm saying. In the moment, you might want to say the most hurtful thing. Why? Because you want to win that argument, right? You want to win that argument, assuming, here is it now, assuming that there will be chance for reconciliation later on. I'm going to get an outburst with my wife or my husband, and I'm going to tell her whatever I want to tell her, because I know maybe I may come home in the afternoon and make things right. Isn't that so? So we are punching the hardest punch with the assumption that we will make things right later on. But they might not be later on. Because the later on may not come. We think we'll fix things later on. But understand, sometimes you have a disagreement with someone. You have an argument with someone, maybe your child at home or somebody, and you know the child that slams the door on you, and the child leaves. The child leaves. Heated discussion, slams the door and leaves. Next thing you hear, the child had an accident and died. You had a heated argument with someone, next you hear the person had a heart attack and died. You're on the phone with someone having, a discussion, and you said, you know what, I'm going to deal with you later on. And you drop the phone. But what happens? They might not be a later on for that person. Would you be comfortable going to bed knowing that I did not treat my child properly? Or I had an argument with my wife? How would I feel when I go to bed and put my head on that pillow? You know the famous saying, never go to bed angry? You all must have heard that saying, never go to bed angry. Many of us go to bed angry. Huh? We don't make things right before we go to sleep. Well, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, that statement is real. Don't go to bed angry. Because what happens when we go to sleep? Allahu yatawaffa al-anfusa hina mawtiha wallati lam tamut fi manamiha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes this soul away from our bodies when we sleep. Isn't that so? If Allah wants, He restores it. If Allah wants, He keeps it. Right? So the default is that we are dead at night. Not that we are alive. That is the default. But our default and our thinking is that I am going to wake up in the morning and I am not going to say the most hurtful things to my spouse or my children, because right now I'm going to bed. I'm going to fix it later on. There might not be later on to fix it. So be happy. Take care of the issues. Don't do things that you will have to apologize for later on. The third advice of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَاجْمِعِ الْيَأْسِ بِأَيْدِ النَّاسِ. Lose hopes in the things that people have. One of the things that hurts human being today and human beings' relationship today is envy and jealousy. I cannot see you prosper in life. It needles me, it hurts me to see you prosper in life. What is that? That is envy. Even your own ones, even your own blood and flesh. And this happens with family. You don't want to see them go ahead in life. And sometimes people will do anything to just bring them down. People will destroy their family structure because of hasad, because of envy. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells us, and you know what happened? I am envying you and I can't sleep in the night. I'm envying you, I am having stress and stressful thoughts. So it's bothering me. It's not bothering you, it's bothering me. So I cannot rest and sleep in the night. I'm lonely. with each and every individual. And one very good statement someone said, you cannot be productive in your pursuits of akhirah unless you are content with what you have in this world. Beautiful saying. You cannot be productive in your pursuits of akhirah unless you are content with what you have in this world. So the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he warns us. It is not only unhealthy to have jealousful and envious feelings against others, what others possess in life. Say, look at them and say, Alhamdulillah, be happy for them. Don't externally be happy and internally you're making dua against them. No. And this is what happens. When Allah blesses someone, be happy for them. Share with them together in their joy and their happiness. And when you do that, Allah will bless you. Allah will remove that stress and that loneliness and those evil thoughts from your heart, because you are happy for someone else in life. So remember again the three advices of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. First, إذا قمت في صلاتك, when you stand up in your salah, صلي صلاة الظهر. Make sure that you pray that salah in such a way that might be your last salah you would ever pray. Don't pray with your mind wandering away. It would not benefit you. Second, لا تكلم بكلام. Don't say something that you will have to regret tomorrow and apologize for tomorrow. And third, lose hopes in what other people possess. So remember our relationship with Allah, our relationship with our family, and our relationship with ourselves. We have rights of Allah, we have rights of our family, and rights on ourselves. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remove these illnesses from our hearts, inshallah. Give us the tawfiq and the ability to be happy for others when we see happiness in the life of other people. بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعنا وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم إنه تعالى جواد كريم مليك بر رؤوف رحيم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. قال الله تعالى مخبرا وآمرا إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم وعلى خلفاء الراشدين المهديين رضوان الله تعالى عليهم أجمعين وعلى جميع الصحابة والصحابيات رضوان الله تعالى عليهم أجمعين وعلى المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء والأموات إنك السميع مجيب الدعوات. عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا